It is 10:43 a.m. Saturday, February 15th. Shout out to everyone new coming through from yesterday's surprise Omegle bars drop. And these are just videos that I've been doing, video diaries, talking with y'all about random topics on my mind. And this topic has been on my mind all day yesterday and today, and honestly a little bit here and there throughout the past couple weeks. Why is Omegle bars so beloved? And obviously there's many different reasons, but I just wanted to get into the nuance of this particular discussion because one, I'm very close to it personally. I have knowledge of all of the different series, all of the reactions of the audience and how the community at large, close-knit community, the next layer of people who follow everything that Harry does, the next layer that kind of taps into everything other than Omegle bars, the next layer that, only watches Omegle bars and maybe watches one or two of the other stuff here and there, the viral like Will Smith videos or, those types of videos. So there's layers of Harry Mack fandom, right? And the outer layer, which encapsulates the most people, is basically anything that goes mega viral on socials and people who watch Omegle bars, right? The outest layer is like the people who catch the one or two like mega viral videos like prom night, or the Omegle bars that get maybe like 15 million views on TikTok and whatnot. The layer under that is Omegle bars. And there's so many things that Omegle bars does for both the audience and for Harry that can't really be replicated in any way. And we're just going to dive into them. So let's start on the Harry side of things, right? Harry is at his best when he can focus, get in the flow state, and stay in it and feed off energy from someone else, feed off positive energy. Harry is very, I like that little rhyme, in tune with the response from whoever he is performing for, whether that be in guerrilla bars out in the streets, headphone sessions where he's at the table, Omegle bars at the screen, live shows where there's thousands of people in front of him. He's very receptive to the audience. If they're hype and going crazy, he gets to that next level just naturally, right? Through the osmosis and the exchange of energy. If they are not giving him the energy, or they're maybe more subdued or not reacting, then he himself makes it a point to take it to that next level to bring them up there. So it's almost like it is a feedback loop, but when the audience gives the energy to him, he is the one who lifts. If the audience isn't giving it, he's giving it that extra. He lifts himself to give the audience to get the audience to react how they want to react. So Omegle bars, though, it's a one-on-one interaction, right? The only other one-on-one interactions that you might see is headphone sessions, which is like everyone's saying the Omegle bars, guerrilla bars combination, right? So there's that one-on-one connection, so he can fully focus on just one individual's reaction and feed off that. Two, it is a controlled environment, right? He is headphones in, mic in, high quality into his ears, high quality for the other person, and there's no risk involved in Omegle bars. You can skip. If he messes up a bar, he can skip. If he feels like the energy's not there, he can skip. Not that I don't think he skips that much. I don't know exactly his process of like skipping people himself. I would assume he finishes the rap out even if it's not great. I mean, there's many different examples of like Patreon and exclusive where like it didn't make into a main video, but it was still good enough and whatever, right? But just the fact that risk isn't there, like he can leave at any moment and there's no pressure on the performance in any way. Removing that pressure allows him to get into a deeper flow state. It's back to back to back to back, right? So there's minimal pauses. Even headphone sessions where it's Omegle bars-esque, one-on-one interactions, there's a crowd of people in the background. You're right there, so you will get to the end of the interaction with that person regardless, right? There's no skipping and just poof, gone. So that like even though it's minimal and Harry kills it every time, there's still that extra layer of like, I need to kill it right now because this person's here. There's people around. It's an environment where we can't just walk away. We can't just disappear from it. So that extra layer is even there for headphone sessions. For Gorilla Bars, obviously, there's a lot more going on. There's people there. There's people walking by, coming in and out, and all these things. There's, considerations of like, are we blocking the crowd, or, a lot of different things are going on in Gorilla Bars. Obviously, the live show is a whole nother animal. So Omegle Bar has that uniqueness of it's back to back to back, so he can really set in like a live stream, for example. He can also get into that like deep flow because he's just constantly going. Omegle Bars is similar. It's very back to back. Just catch your breath, back into a freestyle. Catch your breath, back into a freestyle. So that allows him to really get deep in that bag for freestyles and schemes and flows and stuff that people in the comments are like, oh, Harry gets in his bag in a different way. Now, I will say that I do think Harry does get to that level in his live shows fairly consistently. Just from watching him, some of his best freestyle schemes, this and that, come at his live shows. Some of the most meaningful stuff can also come out in his live shows. But Omegle Bars is just like the quantity of it, right, that you can get in like an hour is unmatched, regardless of him being able to get into flow. And he's gotten into flow in various different situations and amounts, but the thing is the quantity. That's the difference. He can get in and stay in because there's nothing that disrupts that flow except for, eventual fatigue or whatever is next on his calendar to do. So those are the things for Harry that elevates and keeps his performance at that high level of consistency, that next level and consistency for Omegle Bars. The guest part of it, it's a one-on-one interaction, right? And as we saw on the newest Omegle Bars, it was 3 people that didn't know him, and that was like the original Omegle Bars vibes where they don't know him at all. And the just nonchalant or not caring nature of like seeing Harry just kind of... You're skipping people, you're talking to random people, boom, 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 boom. Then Harry pops up. You're in this mode, whatever mode you're in. And immediately, within 30 seconds of the freestyle starting, even just the interaction with Harry's such a positive and uplifting guy just with his energy and how he interacts with people. But if not the interaction, 30 seconds into the freestyle, the change, the shift in mood is so palpable. You can see it on the person's face every single time. And that alone is huge for people viewing, right? The close-up of the face, the change in mood, the stranger to fan transition, right? Headphone sessions is a lot of people that like may recognize him or they at least know what's going on, right? Even if you don't know who Harry is and you see it happening, you're like, oh, I want to do that. And you go in, like, even that I want to do that by seeing what Harry's doing is different than just the complete shock and awe factor that Omegle Bars has for people who don't know him and run into him. And then it's so customized for that person that also only really exists in headphone sessions. Everything else has other factors go into it. The whole song is about their words and what the conversation and what they said. And I just think the combination of all of that creates for an experience that is unmatched to the viewer. I mean, it's objectively from the views, the comments, the sentiment, the feeling, the everything you see and read on the comments alone, you can see what that is. And I'm not just talking about the people who are just like, oh, I hate when you don't do Omegle Bars, or like the more entitled comments, right? You'll see that too, which, that's not why you would go back to doing something because people are feeling entitled or whatnot. But it's those comments from people who love everything that Harry does, right? Everything that Harry does, they're a huge fan. And they're like, man, Omegle Bars just hits different. Or the people who are kind of just like, they're not haters, but Omegle Bars is the only thing that consistently brings them back, right? And it's just a phenomenon that's interesting for me. I love studying and analyzing human interests, and obviously the interest for Harry Mack freestyles and what he does is of utmost priority for me. It's not only something that has become my career, but it has become my career because I chose to go that direction because I'm so interested in it as well, right? I love reading comments on social media posts for anyone. I love watching Harry Mack, and I love watching freestyles in general and rap and whatnot. So it's just like this analysis of people's reaction to Harry Mack content and Omegle Bar specifically has just been something that I think about so much. I mean, the views, you see it. It's there. The comments, the sentiment, like I said in the beginning of this video, it's just all so big. And I think it's almost bigger than the freestyle. It's bigger than the content. It's bigger than the Omegle Bars. It's just like this hope that is awakened, that this random person who has developed his skills to a degree that we have not seen from maybe anyone in any field. I'm not just talking about like freestyle rapping. Harry's at that upper echelon of like mastery amongst anyone who has mastered anything, I would say. And so you have that aspect of it, which is there for every other format. Right, Harry. People, there's this interesting sentiment about, oh my God, Harry's leveled up so much and this and that. Yeah, if their last experience was Harry, mainly Omegle Bars, 90 through 100 or whatever, he was sick then too. By the way, like better than that is I don't understand. I don't really even know what better is at this point. It's just a subjective opinion on the beat and the flow and the words used, in my opinion. But it's like, oh, Harry's just leveled up so much. But if you've been watching Harry and seeing what he's been doing, I mean, he's been here, right? He's been at this level. But it's cool to get him back into this like Omegle Bars flow state that is new, that does give like that newness and whatever. So it's that, like the crazy skill set master of the craft guy, combining and just using that talent to make people, random people who are lonely online, right? And not in like a sad way, but like if you're single, solo, just chilling at home on Omegle, like you got nothing better to do and that's what you're doing, right? To have that person feel seen, heard, and just deliver this insane performance on the spot, no expectation, and complete shock and awe on their face, becoming lifelong fans immediately, is just like there's this emotional energy that provides and creates that it's somewhat unmatched, man, across the interwebs, across the internet. It's not just the Harry content that it stands amongst its own in terms of tier of enjoyment from the masses, but I think it's this energy created that you don't see anywhere else. It's like when the only thing that I can compare it to is like David Blaine's Street Magic or anything that creates that shock and awe reaction towards people. But this is just like such a long, customized, personal song for someone, which is just, again, very different. Anyway, that's my rant on why Omegle Bar is so loved. Nothing here is probably new to anyone. It's just my perspective on the situation. Let me know if I missed anything. I think I hit every topic and bullet that was just chilling in my mind. But yeah, it's fun to see it back, and we're still running back the Omegle Bars. We're going to get 84 in this weekend, and then 85 is going to kick off Monday. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, man, freestyling, streaming on Monday. So if you're here for that, shouts out to you. Appreciate every single one of you. And hopefully I catch some of y'all at the Anomaly tour in one of the cities, because I'll be at every show doing what I do there behind the scenes. So we out. Peace.